I think this also means that this is more or less going to be an offlane Elder Titan and then a 4 Earth Spirit. And when you show a double melee lane this early, I can only imagine a player like Angel is frothing at the mouth, because that, on paper at least, is going to be pretty easy. If you end up on, again, another ranged offlane or ranged safe laner in it yourself, you're going to feel very confident playing into whatever team has right now, no matter what we're going to see come out from Ryoya.
And in a weird way, putting the Earth Spirit in there does now give them a little bit more to work with lockdown and aggression wise, but the way that they go about it is just weird and kind of roundabout, because now how much do we really expect from the core Elder Titan? How tanky can he get? Because you still do need some sort of frontline hero right now. The Clinks with the Death Pact obviously builds up a lot of HP, but that's not necessarily going to be enough, especially if you have a Tide on the other side who can just sort of stand there and not care unless somebody comes directly at him. So that is going to be an interesting point for Team Team. The itemization for the ET is going to be kind of interesting to see. Meanwhile, for NoPing, they get the Monkey King in there, and after seeing a nice little sort of slew of position 4 Monkey Kings, this one presumably is going to be slotted into a core position instead.
Yeah, and you talk about winning the safe lane whenever you're playing versus double melee heroes, and the first hero that comes to your mind is always the Troll. Of course, that being banned out, Monkey King is not too shabby either. Of course, with the changes to Primal Spring, that again affects more position of 4 monkeys than it does safe lane monkeys, but that Jingu change is still the change. It is the crucial change when you're playing it up in that position 1, where level 1 Jingu no longer sucks. And playing versus heroes that are going to be so consistently in your face, I can only imagine that this is the lane that Angel is going to have a field day with. I really don't think this Elder Titan Earth Spirit are going to have a very fun time in. As soon as they lose speed, if the Earth Spirit ever rotates out, what does an Elder Titan 1v2 do versus Oracle Monkey King? There's nothing you can do. You just have to give it up. And that's a position that Angel is 100% going to start to run away with the game. And do I like Monkey King versus Clanks? That's a different story. I actually think Clanks is pretty good versus the Monkey, but that's where, is Monkey King going to be able to sit in his ring this game? That is also a little bit difficult, because you are playing versus Earth Spirit. He can very simply kick you out. It's kind of a counter, as well as Earth Spirit actually being one of the inherent counters to Monkey King, at least in patches of past, because of course you can kill trees with the grip. Well, actually, with 2 of your spells, you can kill trees, so Monkey King does need to be careful if he ever is hiding around there. But I think it comes back to the lane. You're playing 2 melee heroes versus Monkey King. You're going to give him Jingu stacks, and then he's going to Primal Spring, or not Primal Spring, he's going to Boundless Strike, and then immediately heal up to full. I really feel like this matchup is not going to be a good situation for them. At least the Clinks has something to work with.
And, well, I mean, we were talking about the Monkey King Oracle in terms of sustainability, but if the ET and the Earth Spirit aren't careful, there's going to be some kill potential here as well. You normally see that Oracle with a couple of points up in the Purifying Flame. Purifying Flames pretty early on, excuse me. So Monkey jumps in, he gets the Jingy, you get the Boundless Strike, you have the Fortune's End to follow it up, and a little bit of nuke damage on top. Elder Titan and Earth Spirit not massively tanky in the early stages, so a lane where the Monkey King could honestly look to get aggressive if he wants to and if the opportunity presents itself. So we'll see what NoPing look to do there. We'll see how carefully Team Team play. Meanwhile, with that last pick, that is honestly a hero that I think kind of fills the concern I had earlier with their durability. The Death Prophet is hard to take down. You have so much that just keeps her up and going. Maybe her damage output is not massive in the early stages of the game, but if the fight drags on and you've got DP and Clinks just sort of slowly but surely hacking away at your lineup, that could do something. That could put NoPing in a position where they stick around too long and are then maybe exposed to some of this setup from the rest of the lineup as follow-up.
Yeah, and it definitely does feel a little bit more well-rounded now coming from Team Team. Of course, really all of their cores are pseudo frontliners, except for the Elder Titan, which they needed to make up for it, but that's gonna be the Dark Mago mid Earthshaker. It's gonna be an interesting game, that's for certain. But Ryoya and Death Prophet, he is a very good Death Prophet player, and go all the way back to the Major where we saw PSG LGD have their incredible series versus EG. It is a lane winner. You can really run away with a lot of those circumstances, especially laning versus a melee hero like this Earthshaker. You do have to be a little bit concerned if you're Dark Mago, but I also feel like we're going to see the same story we saw with his Tiny, where he is so efficient in the early stages of the game, as well as sometimes Dark Mago just kills you. Yeah, especially if he gets a Fey Grenade. We'll have to see, keep an eye out for that whenever those tier 2 items are available. But we also get to see Earthshaker versus the Clinks. I think they were really lacking a hero to get on top of the Clinks. That's why in the back of my mind, I was thinking of whether or not they were going to go for the Spectre that we see is very popular with the Aghanims build, or we are going to see some other run at you heroes, possibly the SB, run another PSG LGD. But keeping things Dark Mago, the mid ES is 100% going to be able to put Sammy Boy in the coffin. It is a very potent hero and a very potent player to be playing it.
Yeah, Dark Mago, always just so aggressive. Sometimes to his own detriment. We have seen some overextensions from him and NoPing in the past, but I feel like on this Earthshaker, as you mentioned, that is really kind of the perfect option for them to get onto heroes like the Clinks, to maybe punish some of the supports on the back line as well. So if TEAMTEAM lose that, if the Clinks gets taken down, if Mike and Flea can't sort of keep themselves safe and secure on the back line, then this teamfight strength for them is really just kind of cut off at the knees. So we'll see how much Dark Mago can do. We'll see how well he plays in this middle lane up against the Death Prophet, as we are sharing some music, sharing some videos. Much different tone than the last time we saw all chat being exchanged. Different teams, though, obviously, so maybe things are a bit more cordial here at the start of Game 2.
Yeah, definitely a lot more rapport established between TEAMTEAM and NoPing, especially in previous Beyond the Summits, just because of how often they typically are the top 4 teams. It is usually, of course, talking more or less about the previous iteration of TEAMTEAM, that being 4 Zoomers, but yeah, he snuck in. They pinged him, though. At least I think they pinged him. It was a shield, so I believe that is actually TEAMTEAM catching wind of it, and
No, they're
if Flea
absolutely
sticks
picking
around
him.
here,
His
if
exact
Flea sticks
location.
around here, if he breaks the TP, that is incredibly detrimental to the Monkey King. Oh, he's so ready.
Flea, do it to him.
Angel.
Do it to him. Hasn't skilled up anything yet. There we go. He's got the rolling boulder. He goes a little bit too early, though, so TP wasn't available.
He really thought it was going to be a blind TP coming in from the Monkey King, but he mistimes it. He had his own TP to play around too, but
yeah,
that could have been greatness. That could have been greatness.
That maybe Flea just wasn't looking, but yeah, like if your own TP is not available, then the other team's definitely isn't either. But God, that would have been a play that not just would have been big for obviously putting Angel in danger there, but that's potentially tilting. I don't care if you're a pro player. If you sneak into your opponent's base and you get punished like that, you are not happy for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'd almost say it's less detrimental than getting Cliff level 1, but that's just because you can suicide to the tower if it is that bad of a situation and begin your walk of shame, but still, it's unfortunate that Flea wasn't able to keep that going, and fortunately, though, he is able to steal the creep wave away from the Monkey King, because this is not a lane. This is going to be a one-sided massacre. Oh?
Excuse me? What is that? The Satyr just comes in. So Panda had previously actually pulled the range creep over, so it was only the melees that Flea sort of picked up, but by pulling that aggro, the Panda's courier sort of walks by and the Satyr Tormentor just takes it out.
And,
okay, Brax.
Fortunate for Angel. Sometimes once the creeps get past this point, they just decide to go into the tier 2 tower instead of coming back towards the tier 1, but fortunately for Angel, that didn't happen. Otherwise, that would have been a really big issue for him. But yeah, creep stealing is the name of this top lane. It's all they can do to try and fix this matchup.
Panda, I want to be a little bit careful here. Brax has not recalled the spirit to him just yet, so the bonus damage wasn't there. If he has that, he was able to get like 2 or 3 hits onto Panda. If the bonus damage is there for both of them, then maybe that's closer to a kill they could actually get. But at this point, if you're Brax, sure, maybe you could have gotten that kill. But maintaining this creep pull is almost certainly going to be more important for him in terms of just maintaining his position and getting some of those some of those levels up for him as well. So maybe you get the kill, not really worth taking the risk over.
Yeah, as well as that small camp, I believe, being yeah, unblocked by NoPing, so that's gonna be available to him in bottom lane. It was actually Sladen getting pushed all the way back by Sammy Boy and IX Mike. That is something they have in spades in the bottom lane, is that extreme level of harass, something that everyone knows about. 5 Disruptor is easily one of the most disruptive 5s in the game. It's incredibly obnoxious. The harass coming out is on a completely different level than every other 5.
And it's always kind of funny, because Mike, I mean, with this Thunder Strike, it is an insanely expensive spell, considering the mana pool of the Disruptor, but between that, your right clicks, and Sammy sort of throwing in the Searing Arrows, even Oscar is having some trouble. You see that Tidehunter, he's been pushed back, he's burned through all of his regen, so normally this is sort of an unflappable hero, the Tidehunter in the offlane, but they're not going to kill him anytime soon. I wouldn't quite take it that far, but they don't have to be quite as worried about him in terms of that durability.
Yeah, and that's where I am still a little bit upset with TEAMTEAM's lineup, just being that they don't have a true initiator. A lot of that responsibility is going to fall on top of Flea, but that's where they do have quite a few things going for them, especially when it comes to the lanes. A lot of their lanes should be very, very successful.
Meanwhile, roll forward from Flea, snatches the Water Rune, nicely done. Ryoya grabs the other one on the other side, and Dark Mago unable to pick anything up there. Nifty play from the Earth Spirit.
Yeah, and Dark Mago, he's doing a good job of laning versus the Death Prophet, and Ryoya does need to be careful because, very simply, totems are much more efficient than those siphons, just because Dark Mago is very easily able to walk away. But that's where the pressure, yeah, they're doing this glyph play under the tower.
They kick Dark Mago back, trying to get Ryoya a little bit more damage. It's not going to work out quite like they wanted, but they are trying to apply that pressure. Dark Mago does have the healing salve, though, so he is going to be able to survive and really get himself back up to a decent amount of HP, but repeated attempts from this TEAMTEAM lineup as top lane Brax.
Yep.
Yeah, you leave him alone, that's what's going to happen. Angel and Panda will push in every single time, and well, you said in the draft, solo ET, what does he do to defend himself against this duo? There's really not a lot that can be done, as bottom lane, they're going to try to go for Oscar. They've got a little bit of damage. They need more, though, and they're not getting it. Sammy didn't have the range on the Burning Barrage, so Flea is the one who goes down. You do end up sending Oscar back to the base, but honestly, he should have been taken down there. Sammy were maybe 1 or 2 steps further forward. I think those Burning Barrage hits connect for the damage they would have needed for the kill. Ryoya, okay. Ryoya's just going to go for the Exorcism. They want the tower, and Dark Mago can't defend this. Mike is even coming in. So, well, maybe now with Oscar here. Okay, goodbye, Oscar. Glimpsed all the way back to the fountain. That's a rough one, but now Panda, he's sort of rotating in. I'm not sure he realized that his teammate had been sent back to the base, so he is going to get run off of that tower as well. Ryoya doesn't have enough damage with this first Exorcism to get the tower all by himself, and you do see even more reinforcements coming in for NoPing. They just really don't want to give this up, but they may not have a choice. They didn't go for it. Wow, Dark Mago, he was setting up for it with the totem, but I think that cart just gets in with the final hit before they were ready, and TEAM will take the objective.
Yeah, it's a massive rotation, and really everyone across the map gets disturbed by it, aside from Sammy Boy, who is steadfast in sticking to that bottom lane. But that is something that, yet again, they've been able to gain with Ryoya's hero. Of course, not as potent as the Leshrac is, especially when it comes to able to force out the glyph from his opponents, but Exorcism is definitely a tool used to increase the pace of the game, and something that Ryoya will always look to make the play on. Especially, that all starts because Ryoya has that level advantage coming from, well, playing versus a melee hero. There's no nice way to put it. When you play versus a melee hero as a ranged hero, it is that little bit more difficult for you, and even though Dark Mago Earthshaker is very impressive to watch, it is a struggle to get off the get started. It's very hard to get off the ground.
Yeah, you see him still working towards that Blink Dagger. The progress is honestly not too bad. He's only about, what, 800 or 900 away from it at the 7-minute mark, so could pick that one up. Meanwhile, down bot, Oscar and Sladen trying to make a move onto the Disruptor here. They are going to hit him up with the stuns into the Hex, but Mike had already thrown down that kinetic field that's going to prevent them from chasing, so really, until Oscar has this ult, I don't know that there's too much they can do here kill-wise, but against a target like IX Mike, it's almost always going to be worth it to at least try. Not very mobile, not very durable, so and they gave it an attempt there, not quite able to make it happen, but as soon as that play sort of falls apart, you see Sladen getting into the jungle, looking to stack up camps, which leaves Oscar alone to, hopefully, get that Ravage up and running in the next minute or so.
Yep, and similar story to the Tiny, that's where Dark Mago is going for the Blink Dagger first. A lot of times we do see him go for the Aghanim Scepter whenever he's on this mid, yes, but I think it's because...
Rolling from Flea, starting the fight, Ryoya comes in, dropping the silence, and Dark Mago with the Invis was trying to get away. The problem is he's directly underneath that Sentry Ward, so Ryoya just keeps on him and finds the kill. Sladen, I don't know if you want that. Gets very close before backing away, even with Angel there to help out. You're fighting into Ryoya with multiple siphons and his ult, so that would have been very complicated, especially for a line who's nowhere close to level 6.
Yeah, and I think the reason that Ryoya waits to make it a little less obvious they have vision there, that's why he didn't immediately start right-clicking down Dark Mago, because it is quite obvious, oh, they have a sentry here, well, I bet they have vision here, and that's where the D-ward would probably come very easily for them, so he tries to be a little bit fancy, and Dark Mago just goes top.
Trying for Brax
Is he really
here.
gonna try this?
Oh, look at that. Tumblr's toy gets him over his own fissure. Okay. That's... yeah. That's
cool.
Pretty damn cool. Gets himself over his own block for the kill, and Brax... well, I mean, initially he thought he was safe. That fissure kind of puts him in a little position where maybe the opponent can't reach you, but no such luck. Able to find the kill, but you look at Ryoya and Mike, they're making their way top. Unfortunately, the Disruptor does not have static, so they're not going to have that at their disposal, but they're still looking for this fight. They get the slow in onto Dark Mago, and Panda's going to have to try and help him, but he doesn't have his ult either, so really he's just stuck in the middle of this. Dark Mago gets taken down. Ryoya does have to pop the Exorcism, but it gets him the kill, and now they can use the last half of its duration to push for another tower, as that tier 1 top is going to take a beating.
Yeah, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. I don't believe that there's a glyph available to NoPing right now. They need to put this Tidehunter in front of their towers, and Oscar has been really hesitant to actually give himself those positions. I think large in part because he doesn't have his Hood of Defiance finished up yet, but that's where TEAMTEAM are doing a really good job of being fast with their objectives. And really, oh, you gotta be careful.
Gonna get jumped in on. Angel starts to fight. Dark Mago comes in. There's gonna be the Echo Slam thrown down. Ryoya locked in place. Even the Wukong's being thrown out just to make sure they get the kill. They will be able to get it. Now can they catch up to either Brax or Mike? It's not looking great, as Dark Mago's gonna get glimpsed back, and that should be enough to get them away. But they got the kill that they wanted. They had to throw quite a lot into it, but they take Ryoya down. They put a stop to the push, and they get a relatively valuable kill there, split between their two cores.
Yeah, and he didn't really react to his opponents there. Of course, Ryoya can't see what we see, so we don't, or he doesn't know that there is a Monkey King setting up on you, but it's still a little bit strange to see him feel completely confident hitting Creep Wave right next to a tier 2 tower without Exorcism. A little bit too much.
Oscar glimpsed back into static. Nice. There is no way out whatsoever. Good play. Maxed out glimpse, by the way, from Mike, so that range is massive, and you saw it go to work there, really. At that point, if you can see him, you can kind of glimpse him. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and, well, honestly, if the Disruptor finds the farm, we could see that cast range increase further. For now, though, more than enough to make the play, but at this point, it feels like Oscar is really just not a priority for the side of NoPing. They've just been sort of leaving him alone down bot. If he finds farm, cool. If he doesn't, they're good with that too. I'm not really sure if that's by design or if it's just the way that things have played out, but there's so much more emphasis on allowing Dark Mago and Angel to sort of maneuver their way through the jungle here instead.
Yep, and that's where you take a look at Sammy Boy, who's farming up a 4-stack of the Ancients. This aspect of Clinks is still the same. It is still in full force. It is very efficient for you to make this play always. Once you get the Maelstrom finished, unfortunately, the Sammy Boy keeps messing up and not clipping the final Ancient Creep there, just trying to minimize the amount of damage he's actually taking. He's relying on the procs to actually aggro a lot of these creeps, so definitely missing out a little bit. But oh, Angel, oh, top.
Gonna be able to jump away, but that was a close one. Flea was sort of on the hunt for him, but well, Angel should be just fine. Spirit is gonna hit him, but that's really not gonna matter too much. But those are the plays if your team didn't get it there, but Flea has to keep looking for it. If you can sort of just keep the Monkey King away from the farm, or even just set up onto him with kill potential, you are going to have some serious benefits for the team side. But for now, Angel gets away, makes his way bot. He's just going to sit on the tree. No, he's not. He's going to jump down and help out. Okay. So they should be able to get this tower. They're fairly certain that there is no one in the trees or TPing into the trees, and well, they are correct. They'll take the tier 1 tower. That's the first tower they've been able to claim here, but it is going to open up some opportunities for them as you see them surging their way into the south side jungle. But over in mid, Dark Mago needed to be very careful there. He's able to blink, uses the Tumbler's Toy as well to get himself as far away from that one as possible. That could have gotten a little bit rough for him, especially with all of his teammates well too far away to help him. So, good instinct from Dark Mago to pull back, but now the rest of NoPing don't really have much to do in this middle lane. Dark Mago was, to a certain extent, potentially the bait, but he felt it was a little bit too dangerous, backs off, but now Angel, well, he sees Mike. Ooh, misses with the boundless. Dark Mago, though, blinks in. They are going to be able to get the fissure down, but Mike drops the static on himself and TPs away, and, well, I mean, static's on cooldown for 80 seconds, but at least, nice. At least they don't give away that kill. IX Mike's able to fall back, and I don't really know if there's going to be a major team fight in the next 70 seconds that they would have needed the static for anyway.
Yeah, but it does allow NoPing to now put a little bit of pressure on this mid tier 1 tower, and that's where TEAMTEAM needs to start getting a little bit serious here. How do they want to approach a lot of these fights? Once Brax shows up, it does become a little bit more complicated. The threat of the Earth Splitter is definitely there, but that's where you are still playing versus an Oracle. You can't commit so solely on one kill, and that's where you really need to be conscious of what you actually blow to get these heroes. Is where Oscar with the Hood of Defiance is really confident.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're just going to send it.
All right, full send onto the ET. Can they bring him down? Brack's not dead yet, but the finger will make the job a little bit easier. And now Ryoya, oh, he just walked into it. The Wukong's is dropped on top of him. The Boundless Strike out as well into the Hex. And Ryoya should be taken down here, and they need a little bit more damage. Can they actually get it? Ryoya turning around, looking for the Siphons. And that actually may be enough to keep him alive. He's still up. Angel, though, trying to jump onto him with the Primal Spring, but look at Flea rolling forward with the stun, kicks Angel away. And Ryoya will live. IX Mike unable to say the same, as he is going to sort of be the distraction way on the backline. But that is a problem of Ryoya's own making, sort of wandering in, but at least he's able to get himself back out without sacrificing his life. But now Sladen has eyes on Sammy. His teammates, though, were just more focused on the tower. So Sladen, if you go in for that, maybe they can get the tower and then still push their way forward, but that may have been overstaying their welcome. So they are going to pull back. Angel, though, speaking of overstaying your welcome, you may not want to be here right now. He's going to jump away. And Sammy, well, he did have a Quelling Blade. He just wasn't really able to cut down the right tree or cut it in time. So Angel gets out of there, and NoPing would have been better if they got Ryoya, but they're able to find a couple of kills in the tier 1.
Yep. Fortunately for TEAMTEAM, they didn't actually end up committing that exorcism, so they still have that play available to them. Oh,
Hello,
Flea in the
Flea.
river.
That's not where you want to be. Dark Mago, okay. Steps in front of it. Thought he would go in again with the totem, but showing a little bit of respect to someone he thought was on that sort of high ground. Mike was a little bit too far away, so realistically speaking, Flea did not have much backup there, but yeah, NoPing don't really know that for sure. They decide it's not worth chasing for an Earth Spirit kill. So Flea is able to walk away, but you see Dark Mago really starting to build things up a little bit here. Boots of Travel finished off. BKB queued up for him next, so a little bit different from the core Earthshaker we saw the last time around, who went for that Aghanim Scepter pretty early on. Dark Mago is not really all in on some of the damage plays just yet.
Oh, I remember now. That's really the reason why he's gone for this Blink Dagger, is because of the amount of silences on TEAMTEAM's side. If there aren't that many silences and it feels like you can actually play in the fringe of these fights, then you go for it every single time. There's no reason not to, but because there are 3 natural silences available from the team lineup, it really doesn't make sense. You might as well get your one good initiation in that Blink Dagger. I think that's where it's a very smart mix-up from Dark Mago, but there is a huge emphasis on, all the BKBs. I think there's a BKB queued up on at least 3 heroes right now, and that's where Angel, who has a fully completed Desolator, the stakes are really high. The one thing that NoPing has going for them right now more than anything is that their burst damage is incredibly good. If this fight starts out with a Boundless Strike into a Chainstone from Dark Mago or a Ravage with the Blink Dagger also completed up on Oscar, this could be a huge fight. And starting on Ryoya, oh, they got to go up.
Sladen unfortunately doesn't have that blink just yet, so he's
Oh, they
not
don't
able to close
guess?
the gap. And yeah, they don't get anything. They really don't even move all that much from the actual woods itself. Thought that they would at least take a stab in the dark in a direction, but they decide to maintain the cohesion instead, which means everyone from Team gets out of there. But, well, Angel still looking, and he is going to spot
Ooh,
out some heroes, but
the
Panda...
Oracle.
Wow, that's a static onto the
He's still
Oracle.
taking
That's a
it, though.
lot, but yeah, Angel wants the fight. Pushing forward, Mike already taking down that Glimpse, does very little, as Sladen is now in for the stun. Brax is going to get sort of locked in place. There's the Ravage coming down, connecting onto everyone who's still alive. That is a 4-man Ravage that allows them to take Brax out. Regrouping a little bit here. They don't want to necessarily go headfirst into the Exorcism if they can avoid it, and it looks like that means there's not going to be a second round of fighting, but Oracle for 2, and one of those was a core kill. You take that static storm out so early. I just think IX Mike didn't know Angel was there when he throws that down. Obviously, if he did, he's probably kicking himself wishing he could have saved it, but very well played by Angel. Yeah, you sacrifice your teammate, but the fight will go in NoPing's favor.
And I think it's a really smart play from NoPing because it becomes a situation where who's baiting who. They whiffed so convincingly with their smoke that Team realistically had no idea that this fabulous ward in their triangle was already placed down. Of course, it's going to get dewarded after the fact. That much is obvious, but this bottom lane... Oh, Samuel's got to be careful.
Angel doesn't have the Wukong's command, though, so that would make that a little bit tougher, but Sammy's going to back off before there's even any semblance of danger right now, and probably the smarter move. You see multiple heroes kind of in the area who all could have rotated down there if NoPing were able to confirm that Sammy was still sort of hanging out in the area, so your Clinks backs away. He's going to go into the jungle now to farm as he continues working towards that BKB, and well, he's still got a little ways to go, but the progress is at least being made, so we're not quite going to see maybe the scenario we saw in previous matches where that hesitance to purchase the BKB was, well, there to a kind of alarming degree. Sammy this time realizes that is going to be vital for his survival, but not going to be able to finish it off just yet. He's run off the bottom lane. Angel really has been spending a lot of time just kind of coming back into check on this area in particular.
And you look across the board, there are 5 BKBs queued up right now, and rightfully so. The magic damage in this game is incredible. It's where a hero like the Oracle is going to be so incredibly valued, whether or not it's Team keeping him out of the fight, or NoPing relying on him to be able to get a lot of their big team fight spells off, specifically with the Earthshaker, who is going to be the one going in first. And ooh, Mike.
Stun onto Mike first. The glimpse still comes through, but it's not in time. Oh. If you're Mike, there's nothing more you can do than that. You go for the glimpse, but the damage is just too much. Dark Mago gets the kill, and
Oh, and flee.
they're looking for it as well. Sladen comes in, the Hex into the stun. Oscar doesn't want to commit the ult, and he won't have to. Dark Mago makes it in instead, providing most of the damage. Panda finishes things off with the last little bit of nuke damage, and that's now 2 dead on the team side as their supports will be picked off. And what do NoPing do off the back of this? I'm not really sure they're in a position to really do much about Roshan, and they can't really immediately push any towers either. These are just kind of going to be free lone kills that they can't turn into much more.
Yep, and it really doesn't need to be anything more than that, as long as they can keep on spiraling their heroes into those crazy levels, because every single hero on the NoPing side plays incredibly strongly with those higher levels, specifically the Shaker and the Monkey King. If they can somehow spin those heroes into those early 25s, it'll feel incredibly difficult for Team Team to approach a lot of these team fights, as well as they want to accelerate their heroes that don't naturally farm very quickly into those BKBs, because as soon as those BKBs are online, that's where Team Team have to be just as afraid, even if they get their BKBs finished up, because the physical damage is also incredibly fearsome on the NoPing side. It's something they've been able to really do well. Unfortunately, Sladen, I think he's going down here for more or less free.
Ooh, the timing on that one. Glimpse into the roll from Flea. Sladen doesn't get the chance to respond. Ryoya is able to take him down, and Oscar was kind of pushing his way over with that Blink Ravage, but Sladen dies too fast, and Dark Mago really wasn't in a position to go in afterwards to back that up. So they will hold for now, but you see Oscar, well, he's on the ramp. If somebody comes over, he is waiting on an opportunity, but doesn't really look like Team Team are looking to immediately push into that area in particular. So Oscar will instead just clear out some of the waves here, make sure there's no push onto his tower.
Yeah, and we do see some BKBs actually being finished right now. Angel is only one creep camp away, but the big one being the BKB finished up on the Clinks, and Sammy Boy has done a very good job stacking for himself, being very efficient in the jungle, even has the shard finished up on top of that, and that's where this Clinks is still a problem that NoPing hasn't really decided to deal with just yet. He's been off on his lonesome, farming up at whatever rate he wants, and I'm a little bit scared once these fights actually do get started. Of course, the Tidehunter will be able to absorb a lot of that physical damage coming from the Clinks, but that is something that specifically Dark Mago has not set himself up for at all. He only has 8 armor. If he gets in a 1v1 situation where Sammy Boy is just able to beat into him, he loses that fight incredibly convincingly, and Fleet does scout out the Arcane Root here. He's probably going to ping it, and yeah, he's going to immediately look to back away, and uh-oh.
Oscar jumps in, the Gush is there into the Boundless and the Fissure. They are able to take down Flea, not able to get himself out of that one, but really that's all they're going to get right now, although Sladen is certainly trying to make a move onto IX Mike. That Glimpse does not do a whole lot, but now Mike can TP away, and oh, no, he can't. The Fissure at the maximum possible range. That almost wasn't enough, but a nice play from Dark Mago. He throws down the stun before TPing himself mid, and Mike, there's just not much more you can do. Sammy, meanwhile, yeah, there's going to be the BKB TP out. Angel has no means of getting through it right now, but that is the 9-second charge taken away from the Clinks. He does get away, but if you're NoPing, there is something to be said for that. You only send the Monkey King in, and the faster you can sort of burn through these charges, the more vulnerable Sammy Boy might be in some of those later fights. And speaking of fights, Brax going to get caught out. Oscar and Angel pushing their way forward. The Earth Splitter does get deployed, and it is going to do a little bit of damage, but now look at that middle lane. They jump in onto Ryoya. Dark Mago, though, well, didn't really have the damage to finish that off by himself. The Ravage, meanwhile, is largely ineffective. Ryoya already popped that BKB, and very few of the other heroes were in position to actually get hit by it. But now Flea is going to get hit up. Angel will find the kill. Sammy, though, is quickly able to turn that into a trade as he'll finish off the line. Do they really want to go back in? Yes, they do. They're trying to get onto Panda. Not going to be able to take him down right away. The Static Storm, meanwhile, is deployed onto 2. Neither one of them go down, though, and actually, the Monkey King got off the Wukong's command first, which means Ryoya is the one who goes down, unable to get himself out of that ring in time. And now they want more. Mike.
Oscar?
Well, okay. Mike holds his ground. Sammy's there for the damage. Oscar just honestly getting a little bit greedy. He will be taken out, and now if you're NoPing, you are very rapidly trying to retreat. Panda, though, he's got to get himself away, and Mike is going to have eyes on him. The Glimpse is up in just 2 more seconds. Dark Mago, though, turning around, looking for the kill. He is going to be able to get it, while Panda actually hit himself with the False Promise. I don't know if he's going to be able to heal enough to survive, but yeah, no, he doesn't get it. Sammy will find the kill, but at least they're able to make the trade. They get IX Mike in exchange, as Dark Mago just quickly popped back in, blew up the Disruptor, and then walked away.
Yeah, it's a very messy fight, but oh, Flea. That's insane from you, but oh, are you going to get punished for it?
Yeah, he is. Dark Mago will find the kill. Sammy, though, doesn't care about the BKB. He's got physical damage. He just burns through. Dark Mago will fall in. Now Sladen, he's going to be dying as well. Sammy just gets 2, not quite for free. He does have to work for it, but it's just a perfect opportunity put directly in his lap. He finds both, and now that opens up the Roche pit.
Yeah, and he does so much physical damage right now. It's not the easiest time in the world, but you definitely have to be concerned here. And you see Angel, he has his ultimate. They're cutting down a lot of trees, and Brax needs to be careful. He would die to one boundless.
Oscar just straight up jumps in. That's going to be a nice two-man silence. Oscar almost immediately removes it, but now the glimpse going to pull him back in, and he is completely isolated. He needs help. Nobody can get to him in time, though, so Oscar will fall. Sammy gets the kill, and again, the damage that this Clinks is putting out here. Oscar really is not that tanky. I think Brax is playing a large part of that as well with the natural order. Just not a great time. The Tide obviously still has some armor to work with, but not nearly as much durability as he's normally used to in that scenario.
And that's where Angel, he could start doing it right now, but I think they want the kills first. This is a really good ward here.
It does get taken away, so they no longer have that vision, but they know Angel's still in there.
Pull Daedalus on Sammy.
Oh man, he is going to look for his opening. And, oh, Flea? Okay, Flea's just going to roll in. That's a bold move on his part. Oscar now drops the Ravage, hitting up onto those two supports. And both Flea and Mike are dead. Flea, though, is going to buy back. Meanwhile, the Earth Splitter hits onto about 2 or 3, but while that's happening, Angel trying to get into the pit. He's thrown down the Wukong's command. Brax is just hoping to push his way in with the BKB active. That actually forces the False Promise to be applied onto Angel. Meanwhile, Roshan has still yet to fall. They are going to be able to bring it down. Who gets the Aegis? Angel gets it. Able to pick it up, but Ryoya, look at him go, just tearing his way through with the Exorcism. He picks up the triple kill. He's looking for the Ultra now with the Monkey King coming back up. They silence him, and they just absolutely destroy him as Ryoya grabs himself the Ultra, and the mad dash to actually get into the pit as Roshan was dying. It's chaotic, but it goes almost entirely in Team Team's favor. I think they really just lose the two supports there, and that's kind of it.
And really that mean as it is for Team Team because Flea goes as early as he does. He was playing around the fact that he had buyback entirely there. He forces that Wukong's ring to go down so early because Angel feels pressured into it. If he gets to hold it and force this awkward position for as long as he wants, then it is impossible for Team Team to walk in. But it expires, you buy back on the Earth Spirit, you get immediately back into the fight, and you're unable to actually stop him from taking it. And unfortunately, they did lose the race to gain the Aegis, but that cleanup is definitely going to feel very nice for Team Team, and it's more time and more space for a Clinks that is already snowballing very hard. He is completely out of control here, and take a look at his levels. He is almost at 1,000 XPM right now. He is incredibly leveled on this Clinks, and once you get 25, that's that pseudo frontliner where suddenly the Clinks has a Scotty and 5,000 HP. Does NoPing have enough gas in the tank to kill him and the rest of Team Team's lineup? That's a very difficult question to answer.
He's about to hit 24, just got it there. The next highest level is 20 on either side. So Sammy, he's been doing some serious work here, and now this is a DD rune that he's able to pick up. Got a bit of a window. Double damage on the Clinks. We'll see what they can find, but finding a fight would require them to just kind of charge headfirst onto their opponent's side of the map, which as of right now doesn't really feel like they're super into, but they are starting to pick up some items. That was a BKB finished off by Flea on the Earth Spirit. Meanwhile, we do now see that Aghanim Scepter picked up by Dark Mago. So, as you mentioned, with the silences on the other side, the blink into the BKB was the game plan for him, but now, well, you've got the means to deal with some of that lockdown, so the Enchant Totem upgrade becomes a little bit more valuable for that Earthshaker, but he's not really with his team at the moment. You see Dark Mago sort of split pushing things out in the top lane, so NoPing are grouping up in and around this bottom lane, but I'm not really sure that there's much they can do here. And yeah, you see Oscar and Angel, they're just kind of focusing on the farm at the moment.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem right now is, and you take a look at Oscar's build, A, he doesn't have enough armor, and B, he needs a BKB because this Disruptor is way too obnoxious. Mike, even though he's been getting picked off a little bit here and there, has been crucial for a lot of these team fights, and you take a look at him, 900 gold away from that Aghanim Scepter, that's where those stomps that you don't really care about on the NoPing side become the only important spell in these team fights, where if you're not getting forced out, you are not getting your BKB off. And on characters like the Monkey King, where you need the armor from the Wukong's command ring to sit versus the Clinks, and you need your BKB so that way you can get your
Oh
spells
no,
off.
Dark
It's
Mago
going to be crushing. Yeah.
jumps into the creep wave mid just as the smoke play from Team Team was passing by, so that is a quick and easy kill, but NoPing are looking to mount a response. They do get in onto Brax. That's going to be a Ravage deployed. They're looking to take Mike out of the fight here as well, as Oscar will keep him occupied, but Sammy really does not give a damn about any of this. Ryoya as well. Look at him go, just charging his way forward, forcing Angel to fall back, so... Well, I mean, they get Brax. That's really going to be it. Oscar now gets taken down. Panda will have his TP canceled, so... It is a mad dash to try and retreat here. Panda will not be making it out. The Lion was at least able to TP home, but that's a 3-for-1 going against them. And Oscar, I don't know. Once he pops the Ravage, to a certain extent, his job is done, but your Tide, who's supposed to be your frontliner, he's chasing a Disruptor while the rest of the team are still in the river fighting the rest of Team Team. Just feels like he got his head turned around the wrong way.
Yeah, that fight got so split up. And oop, again. Wow. Oh. There's nothing he could do. He gets silenced, he gets rooted. That was the Mindbreaker on Sammy Boy that he was just able to pick up. And Angel...
I don't know if that's a fight you want. He's now glimpsed back onto the tree, but there's really not a whole lot they can do to follow that up. But Angel, you have to be so careful right now. They know he's the only one alive. Okay, never mind. Now he's not. Sladen will buy back. But they can't take this fight. Sammy's already set up, you see, like 4 archers on the front line. Okay, they're going to try for it anyway, but... BKB activated from Sammy. He'll walk away, and now they need to make sure they don't go too far forward because IX Mike is getting the Static Storm back up, and it's an Aghanim Scepter upgraded static as well. So they will have the mute on the items. If NoPing push in, they're not getting back out.
Yeah, and the only problem with this build-up on Disruptor is it's not the Aghanim Scepter that's incredible. It's the Blink Dagger that follows. Once Mike has that, he is his own setup. He blinks Static Storm kinetic fields, and then you are locked down. There is nothing you can do at that point, and that's where you have to respect this Disruptor so much. They're hiding it right now. They might even smoke after it because they want to try and catch someone off guard, like the Monkey King or the Shaker, who feel like they might be able to get away with it, and a pick like that would be massive, especially with the position of the mid wave. This would be their ticket into the mid racks.
And we'll see what they do. They're making their way into the jungle. Closest target is Dark Mago. They spot him out on the bottom wave. Can they close the gap, though? Dark Mago's really not doing anything to hide himself. He just doesn't see this play coming, and by the time he does, it may be too late. He does have the blink, though, but there's going to be the silence into the root. They've got him locked down, and that is an easy kill. Dark Mago... I mean, without the BKB, there's just nothing here to protect him. He doesn't have much armor or health, so burned through fairly quickly, and he actually doesn't have his buyback available. He is well short on, on the gold, about 600 short on that mark. So, Team, how much further do they go? Tier 2 towers looking mighty tempting for them. Pushing straight down mid is probably not in their best interest. So, you see Sammy making his way over. They'll take the tower, and well, maybe they'll try and push further depending on how confident they feel with that Earthshaker still being down.
Yeah, it's so hard for them to find a fight that they actually want anymore. Sammy has the full Scotty finished up as well. This Clinks is just completely spiraled out of control, and unfortunately for them, they had a pretty big opening on NoPing's side to actually kill him, and look at Oscar. 3-shot.
Oscar,
oh.
Can he get away? They use the false promise just in case, but the glimpse pulls him back in. He's able to blink out, though, but is there enough healing? He's still in the danger zone here. It looks like he will live, but he now has to go all the way back to the fountain, and while he does so, Ryoya and Sammy hack away at the racks. They're able to take the tier 3. And, well, racks are actually falling as well, but there's the play. Oscar jumps in, Ravage goes down. They need to be able to kill off Sammy, though. They'll hit him with the Finger of Death. Will that be enough? Sammy, not dead yet, able to walk himself away from this fight. Can they get him? Yes, they can, as Sammy will finally fall, but Angel has to give his own life, and now Dark Mago is really the only one capable of doing damage in this engagement. And can they lock him down? He's trying to jump back. He gets the stun in there to kill off Mike, but jumps directly into Flea and Ryoya. They'll hit him up with a Magnetize. Ryoya is trying to make the Siphons work for him, but there's only so much damage those Siphons can do. Dark Mago is able to just jump back in with another of those Enchant Totem Leaps, and if you're NoPing, sure, you found some big kills there, especially that one onto Sammy, but you sacrificed the whole lane of racks before they can make that play. But now, Dark Mago wants in onto Ryoya, but he's just taking too much damage. The tier 3 tower isn't here to back him up either, so it looks like he may just honestly back off, but you can't go too far, otherwise Ryoya, he's still hitting up the racks. They're going to jump in onto him again with the leap, but it just feels like it's not enough right now. Ryoya, though, will eventually pull back. Dark Mago now sees his opening. He'll jump in again. They get the Fortune's End down. The Echo Slam even being committed. That is going to be enough for the kill. Flea a little bit too late there, trying to get back into it. And he's just going to be forced to TP out. Pops the BKB to make sure he gets away. And, well, that makes things look a little bit better for the NoPing side, but still, the damage to their base is just so substantial.
Yeah, and as messy as that was the perfect jump from NoPing. It was maybe 5 seconds too late, but if they didn't go on Sammy Boy when they did, he would have backed out before the Dark Pact was going to expire. It was as close to the expiration of Dark Pact as Sammy Boy was going to let him, so it's really well played from NoPing. Unfortunately, with everything they had to commit onto the Clinks, they used absolutely everything. The Monkey King is the only easy way that they actually are able to get the kill onto Ryoya, but that's where Ryoya really spends too much time on top of Dark Mago, and they're playing into him more. They're giving up some pretty important kills here. And Brax?
Brax gets stunned. Sammy gets jumped. Static Storm from Mike, though, is put down defensively. But Sammy's still on the run, and Oscar, he's going to try to keep up. Here comes Dark Mago chasing in as well, but
Vision.
They don't... Oh, wait, they do have it. They actually land the stuns. No, they don't. They don't actually see him. They just know that they stunned him, so Sammy was able to walk away. They're going to throw down the sentries and the obs now, but that's
Roche.
A little too late. They don't get the kill, but yeah, Roche is open to them. Aegis, as well as the Refresher Shard in their hands. Buybacks for those dead heroes on TEAMTEAM, not available. So this should be pretty much free for the NoPing side.
Oh, man. It's something that NoPing are so good at doing. As soon as they take a convincing loss, they immediately surge onto the enemy side of the map. They get down vision, and they play around what they only have going for them. The fact that Ryoya is dead for 15 seconds before the rest of his team comes back up, and TEAMTEAM play immediately into it. NoPing are so good at identifying those holes that they can play around, and unfortunately, TEAMTEAM were not as bright at identifying that one weakness, and they definitely play into it for a little bit. They're incredibly lucky that Sammy Boy is able to walk out there just because they have a small gap in their vision. But not that much has changed aside from this Aegis. This is still a completely out of control Clanks. It is still a really hard matchup in Dark Mago.
He's going to get caught in the bottom lane. They need to be able to bring him down. Can Brax keep him in place long enough for the Clinks to get the damage? No. And Dark Mago is able to get himself away. So jumps back to base, but that was a pretty close call, and that just goes to show, even with the BKB, even with the blink, the bots, all there to sort of increase his mobility, he's a couple seconds away from Sammy Boy just taking him out entirely. That physical damage from the Clinks is just something we've harped on repeatedly in this match, but it bears repeating just because of how dangerous he is.
Yeah, it's where the only situation for NoPing is finding these heroes stunned up and Sladen. Oh, he's able to walk out?
Wow. Okay, Sammy still takes care of it, but Angel now comes in with the Wukong's command. I think he has the extra ring there as well from the talent, and now there's going to be the move made by Oscar, connecting with the Ravage, but he got put to sleep by the Stomp. Now the Earth Splitter comes through. It's going to connect onto a couple of heroes in this fight, getting a little bit rough. The Wukong's command has now come to an end. Oscar is still dropping and will fall, and this is going to turn into an absolute disaster. Angel's just caught out in the middle of all of this. The Aegis will be burned through. Panda is going to try to get into position to save his teammate, but he's going to get silenced up before he really gets the chance. Run away from the Monkey King. And Angel just has to go for the TP out. He is going to be able to make it, but Dark Mago ever so briefly revealed his position. So he's now on the run, but he should be able to make it out. However, 3 heroes dead. Aegis taken out of the Monkey King's hand, and really not a scratch on the TEAMTEAM heroes.
Yeah, and now they get to push up to the high ground. They don't have that exorcism anymore, but they don't need exorcism. Sammy Boy is just going to carry his team, especially with the leveler slotted in right now in his neutral item. I don't know how they actually defend this tier 3 tower. Of course, they have Glyph, but they need to be so tight with their initiation onto the Clinks yet again, or they're going to get torn apart. And Sammy Boy, he's putting down so many skeletons with the skeleton walk. Even if they get into this fight, I don't know how many heroes on their side are actually going to survive.
That's a nice blink from Dark Mago, getting into the path of the Rolling Boulder from Flea, but their main fight is to the south as they do jump in, but the Static Storm is going to be there. The Monkey King can't get off the Wukong's command. He's going to lose about half his HP before that silence will wear off, but Dark Mago's still pushing, going for the ult, able to take down Sammy. That is a huge kill. The problem is those Burning Army archers just keep on doing the damage. Dark Mago gets taken down. He's actually going to be forced to buy back. But once he's in the fight, maybe they can make something happen here. They're going to try to get onto Ryoya. They're not going to be able to catch up to him, though, as Sladen will be taken down, and well, those buybacks look a little bit less impressive now, but they are back up with most of their lineup. What the heck happened? Oh. Angel attempted to tree dance, but he tree danced over the kinetic field, so it just kind of stopped him in midair. It looked very funky, but all things considered, still, NoPing, they burned through a lot of resources there, and you get Sammy. That's a big one, but I think they just need more than that. You see, even with Sammy the only casualty, that's not much more gold for NoPing compared to their opponents.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they're starting to really lose ground in these fights. I think the only reason they get Sammy Boy there is because Dark Mago almost suicidally goes for that kill, and while he is able to claim it, he gets killed right after the fact. It's a really good play from Dark Mago as well, tracking the Clinks, even though he has really no vision. He's going in completely blind, but he did what he needed to do. He got the Clinks out of the fight, meaning that Angel could attempt to put the team on his back, but there just isn't that much lockdown. And Oscar was unable to find a Ravage next to the Wukong's command yet again, so it's not like these heroes are necessarily trapped in the ring. And unfortunately, even further for NoPing, they aren't able to punish the fact that they were able to get Sammy Boy in the first place, so Team are able to more or less do a full reset where their opponents are getting a little bit more time. They're able to finish off some interesting items, specifically the Daedalus on Angel, as well as the Yule Scepter actually being the item of choice for Dark Mago to try and break that combo coming out from Team. Unfortunately, it really doesn't feel like any of this is enough. And
Oscar is caught. Static Storm out onto him. They're going to stun him up with the Rolling Boulder, and now Sammy comes in for the damage. Ryoya finds the kill. So Oscar, I mean, he's just not tanky. I mean, he is, but it doesn't matter. There's just so much damage coming out from that other side that he just gets burned through way too quickly. And I don't know. You see him trying to queue up some items, the Shivas, the BKB, both being sort of looked at, but he's a decent way from finishing really either of those right now. And of course, you gotta save money because your team might need you back in the fight. He does have the Ravage at the ready, so has to hold for now.
And they're going at the perfect time.
Oh, Sladen.
He's not reacting.
False Promise is going to be there, but this is not a False Promise that's actually going to save him. It's just going to delay the death. They cannot heal him up enough, as really that Lion should be going down. Yeah, he will fall. Sammy gets the kill, and now the Rax. Rax are under attack.
Angel isn't here. He's trying to finish off his Divine Rapier so that way they can try and spin this fight in their favor, but that is the cost. You are now playing versus Megas.
Dark Mago hit up there. BKB will keep him safe, but now maybe they can get on the backside. No, they can't. The Hex. They've got him. That's it. It's over. The Rapier hits the deck, and without that, I just don't think they can do this. They hand it over. Nobody's actually taken it yet. They're going to leave it on the ground. They can come back for it later, because right now they're looking for the kills. Jumping in onto Sladen. They don't have the vision right now, as he is using that Shadow Amulet, but they know they're hitting him, so they're just going to be able to sort of keep on applying that pressure. Meanwhile, speaking of pressure, you see the Clinks jumping in alongside Brax. They'll take Sladen down. Panda's in trouble as well. Dark Mago dropped low. He's going to try to get back to the fountain. While he does so, Oscar goes in for the Ravage, but if he's ravaging just to get his teammate to the fountain, yeah, there's nothing more that can be done. GG will be called. I'm not even sure the Rapier ever got picked up. No, it's still sitting on the ground there. They didn't need it on Team as they close out the win, and well, they get themselves a draw.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be very happy with this draw. Of course, not NoPing at their full strength, but definitely a game to be proud of. And man, Sammy Boy had a really good game on Clinks. That was some of the most consistent Clinks I think I've ever seen from him. It really felt like he put the team on his back, and the 1 or 2 times that NoPing were actually able to string together their disables to get those 2 kills off of them were absolutely massive. But they were nearly 35 minutes into the game after he had already had an insane buildup, an insane rate, and a pace that really nobody on NoPing could match up evenly. I think there's no point in the game where it felt like this Clinks and Monkey King were on even ground. It had to be that fantastic team play coming out from NoPing to even up that matchup. And unfortunately for them, I think as cool as Dark Mago Earthshaker is, it felt like Angel was in a 1v2 versus the chorus on Team Team. It just felt like he wasn't able to accomplish nearly enough as much as we know that he can actually accomplish. It just feels like he fell a little bit too far behind and ended up playing versus a team that was way too tanky. He was a little bit out of his depth with this pick.
Yeah, we saw so many times Dark Mago just gets kind of blown up by that physical damage. Also worth noting for Team Team, lesson learned from some of their previous matchups. You take a look here, BKBs on 4 of the 5. So we wondered before with one of those sort of previous matches, yeah, why not go for the BKBs, things of that nature, but this time, yeah, match community, it's kind of good. It's pretty useful. They take full advantage of it. And as you mentioned for Sammy, I think the number one thing is here, we have seen similar performances from him in terms of the early start. Most of the time, however, when he starts that early, the consistency isn't there. It's a fantastic start, and then it gets a little bit less intimidating around that sort of halfway point, and then it's a toss-up of whether he gets back on track or continues to drop off. This time, no such issue. He was just so consistent the whole way through, never really missed a step. 15, 2, and 10 in terms of the final stat line, and if you have 15 kills out from your Clinks, Ryoya as well with a 15 and 3 stat line, those two can really just sort of spearhead the charge, and it played out the way we sort of thought that it would if Team Team were going to win this, right? Those two would have to go in, and the rest of the lineup would then be there for the follow-up with the teamfight control. That's exactly what happened.
And it isn't a win without some faults. I think the big issue they had on Team Team was Brax really never got a time to shine. Fortunately enough for Brax in this game, not everybody can have a good game, especially when your teammates are pulling as much weight as they ended up going. But I think they could really find a better solution for that top lane. I think, of course, NoPing did end up counterpicking it, so it's a situation where you just had to pick your heroes early and then you get punished for it. So what can you do? But I think if they find a way to fix that top lane, this game would have been over incredibly quickly. They otherwise the mid and bottom lane were so successful for Team Team, and they were really able to spiral that into the rest of the game. And unfortunately, as good and as interesting a draft NoPing were able to get, I don't think they were really able to hit those same beats that we see a lot of times when Dark Mago is on the Tiny, where he's able to be that pseudo carry. When you are on this Earthshaker, you really are locked in as a hero that, unless you're able to get that third or fourth item Daedalus, you are dead set in your magic damage. And for a while there, we definitely could see them bursting the heroes on the Team side, but one or two misplays, they fall behind a little bit, they give up a few too many kills, and Oscar specifically really drops the ball when it comes to finding those initiations. The game just become impossible. It's where the 3 armor items coming up from Ryoya, it's just you're not dying to physical damage at that point on the Death Prophet, and you're playing versus a Clinks who, of course, has 5,000 HP. He had just an incredibly consistent go. I think really Sammy Boy is the one who stood out for me in this game.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic performance from Team Team. That nets them the 1-1 draw here and 3 wins in 4 matches on the day. So fantastic performance from them. They maintain that first place spot. Meanwhile, for NoPing, 1-1 draw, maybe not the perfect response for them, but they still have plenty to go. This was just their second series of this entire group stage, so we should be seeing them working their way up the standings moving forward as they start to fill out their schedule a little bit. So with that said, we are now done for the day. 4 series in the books here. So we are going to be closing things out in just a little bit. ET and I will be back tomorrow afternoon, same start time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Only 3 series tomorrow, though. So that is going to be a slightly shorter day overall. And then, yeah, we'll be sort of back to the regular scheduling after that. So we will be sort of signing off in just a little bit. ET, any last words here before we shut her down?
No, just tune in tomorrow. We've got a lot more NoPing tomorrow. Of course, everybody always excited to see what they're able to pull out. I hope we're going to see an appearance from Matthew. He'll grace us with his presence, as well as for Zoomer's last game. So we'll have to see if they can actually catch up to Team Team in time, or with this 1-1, Team Team solidified their first place coming out of the group stage. So lots of good Dota up ahead.
Yeah, lots of no ping and some high leverage matches coming up tomorrow afternoon. So hope you join us. Until then, though, we are going to be signing off here. So thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening, what little of it remains. It's getting a little late, but thank you all once again, and we will see you tomorrow.